I was always single while all of my friends were in relationships, and every single Valentine's Day, boy did I know about it. In fact, it took me 20 years to get into my first proper relationship. And to be honest, even after that point, even in a relationship, I always felt like Valentine's Day was a little bit disappointing. Yes, this is an empty wine glass because I don't have any wine, but just imagine there's wine in there. Okay, let me just take this out of my hair real quick because what the fuck? The moping is over. So yeah, as I was saying, I have always been the single friend on Valentine's Day. And for the longest time, that used to make me feel so depressed. I literally felt like I was such an outcast and a weirdo because I never had a boyfriend throughout school and then into college and into work life. I feel like things are a lot different now in respect to Valentine's Day. I feel like people really emphasize self-love and platonic relationships, and it's not just all about romantic love anymore. But I'm not actually too sure because I feel like maybe my algorithm just shows me that. I don't know. Let me know if your algorithm doesn't show you that kind of thing. But like when I was growing up, I feel like it was a very prominent thing. Being a hopeless romantic and being someone who was obsessed and infatuated with films and love stories and Disney films, things like that. I just wanted love. I wanted romantic love and I would dream about it all the time. But I also, at that point, was a child, and I remember very vividly feeling like I wasn't ready for a boyfriend, so I didn't get into a relationship, which makes sense. But boy did I feel weird. I literally felt so crazy because I didn't have a relationship throughout school and I was always the single friend. And I feel like Valentine's Day is that day of the year, that one day of the year when you feel like you are segregated from everybody else and outcast from society because you don't have a romantic partner. So I guess I just wanted to mention first that if you are single, Valentine's Day is just another day. It doesn't have to be this big thing like you think it might be. My dog's barking outside. It doesn't have to be this big extravagant thing because the reality is that it's not necessarily like that. I feel like Valentine's Day is exactly what you perceive it to be, and that doesn't matter whether you are single or in a relationship. Like if you have a cynical view of Valentine's Day, whether you're in a relationship or not, you're gonna feel the same kind of way about it and you're gonna probably feel disappointed. So if it's not your thing, if Valentine's Day is not your thing, that's cool, that is absolutely fine. But I encourage you to not drag other people down if you're quite cynical about it and drag people down with like, oh well, love isn't real because you were maybe scolded in the past by a relationship, or I don't know. I don't think it's beneficial to anyone, including yourself, for you to be cynical about love. I personally think that it is so much more than romantic love. I feel like it is the perfect time of the year, the perfect day in the year to really just celebrate love in general. All the love that you have inside of you, all the love that is around you, all the love in your relationships, just noticing all of the love and just holding on to all of that. The more that you start to think about something, the more that you try to seek something out, you will start to see more and more and more of it. It's like when you start thinking about a certain car because you're interested in that car and then you see it everywhere. It's the same thing with love and thinking about Valentine's Day in that respect. So I just encourage you to, if it's not your thing, cool, but if it is your thing but you're just in a situation where you're single and you're probably a little bit sad and a little bit lonely, just to tap into love and try to find it everywhere in everything, because I assure you there is love everywhere and in everything. I'm not even joking. You've just got to be willing to look for it. Okay, for my girlies who are going through, and guys who are going through a breakup right now and you're finding it very particularly stressful and like sad and depressing, I feel you. I know that is like the most awful thing because it's kind of like when you go through a breakup, you can kind of feel like you just don't want to feel love anymore because it makes the breakup feel harder when you're tapped into the emotion of love because you've just had love ripped away from you. But I don't necessarily think that you've had love ripped away from you. When I say it out loud, like I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of the time in breakups, you are actually being gifted so much love and you just need to open it, and that love is within yourself. That was so cheesy, but it's so true. It's like you're being granted an opportunity to give all of that love that you were given to that other person who obviously didn't deserve it if you're not with them anymore. And you are given the opportunity to give that love back to yourself. So in a way, you've got an abundance of love. And I think when you go through a breakup as well, like obviously every breakup's different, but a lot of the time, like you probably might have broken up because that person like didn't receive your love, like they couldn't give the kind of love that you gave them. So like in that instance, you're actually making a lot more love So in that respect, you're actually getting a lot more love back now that you're not in that relationship, and you're not wasting all of that love on that person who didn't know how to even receive it. They couldn't even recognize it. So for me personally, I think that's a win, but obviously that is not to take away from how painful it is going through a breakup, especially at this time of the year. Like, the reality of this time of the year is that it's cold outside, it's winter, it's a little bit bleak and depressing, especially if you live in the UK, but it kind of can feel like a little bit contradictory, and it can feel a little bit backwards, and it doesn't make sense that Valentine's Day would be in February when it's so bleak and horrible outside. So I get how it can be quite sad in that respect, and trust me, I've been through a couple of breakups what absolutely changed my brain chemistry, and like, they were the hardest times I've ever had to go through in my life. And I know it's so annoying when people say this when you're going through a breakup, but it does all get better. Like, time is a healer. That's the last time I'll say that, because I know that's annoying. But like, what I would say is that you need to use this time as a time to feel your feelings and to fully grieve. If that's the place that you're at right now, and you are actually in the depths of a breakup, like it's probably quite fresh still, I think it's so important that you get your emotions out. Like, you feel your emotions to the deepest pit of them that you can feel them at. Just let them come out, because they need to come out. It's not like you're sad for no reason, you're being crazy. Like, you have just gone through a breakup, which is essentially like a grieving process, because you're not with that person anymore, that person who you spend a lot of time with. So give yourself the grace to actually be sad, and like, not expect yourself to have to be happy and to have to even follow any of the things that I'm saying in this video. Like, you don't need to try and find love in everything if you don't want to, if you're not at that point. It purely depends of like what point of the breakup that you're in, because I know that when I was going through a breakup, I actually found it really healing to try and think more loving thoughts. Like, I would have different stages. So some phases of it, I would want to be really angry, because that's what got me through. So I would listen to Beyonce. I used to watch Beyonce Homecoming on Netflix, and that really used to like just fire up my soul and made me feel so empowered, and it kind of got like the anger out of me in a way. But then there would be other times where I would just be so sad, and I couldn't even think about watching like a romance film, listening to any love songs, listening to any music at all. In fact, like, I went through a phase when I first went through my breakup where I couldn't listen to any music. My playlist, I'm such a music girly, and I couldn't listen to anything until I got to a point where I could make like this tiny little playlist of like a couple of songs that didn't trigger me. And oh my god, I need to find that playlist, because I need to remember what was on it. I know that Miley Cyrus was on there. I was never like a Miley Cyrus kind of girl. Like, I used to really repress that and like push that into my shadow, that I liked Miley Cyrus. I think that relationship made me feel like that would maybe be uncool. Where is it? Welcome to the land of fame, excess. Whoa, am I gonna fit in? Oh my god, I can't find it. Ah, I found it. Okay, right, this was my playlist. I don't know if you can see it. So I've got like Chris Brown Zero, that song, oh my god. And why was Swallow on there? Swallow.
Young money, young money, young money.
I don't get it. This was my song. This is like the only thing that I could listen to. LAX. Whoa, am I gonna fit in? That song got me so excited, because it made me think like, yeah, I'm gonna move to America now, because I don't have a boyfriend to hold me down. I get too excited about this topic, guys. I don't know why I get excited about breakups. I think it's a little bit psychotic. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about at this stage, guys, but basically when I was going through a breakup, I had like different moods. So I guess like whatever season of the breakup that you're in, just do what feels right to you, and don't force yourself to, I don't know, watch romance films or listen to beautiful romantic music. Not that anyone does that on Valentine's Day, but I don't know, don't force the day to look any kind of way. Like, just allow yourself to grieve. But if possible, try and find something that you can do that is going to bring you a little bit of joy. Like, for me, my only joy that I could get out of anything, and this was like weeks in, like I couldn't really find any joy for like a good few weeks after. But I remember I was on the sofa crying to my parents about it, because I was still so sad, and I was like, it's been 2 weeks now, why am I still sad? And I just laid there, and they were watching Schitt's Creek, and I just kind of was listening to it and like watching it with them, and it just it made me laugh. Like, it just made me sort of like smile every now and then. I thought, you know what, this is going to be my new comfort program. So I think that really helps, having a comfort program to get you through the breakup. And I think like making it a bit of an era of your life when you go through a breakup, like this is Valentine's Day aside, but like if you're going through a breakup right now, making it a whole thing, like making it your reinvention era. This is the opportunity for you to really just recreate yourself, be a different person, and not in a way that you need to like impress the other person on social media or whatever, because quite frankly, they need to be blocked and not even in like your eyesight or you're in their eyesight, but just in a way that you want to become a better version of yourself and you don't want to be in this situation again, because the likelihood is that if you just treat this breakup like it's just going to go away in time, like over time you're not going to feel sad about it. If you just don't think about it and push it under the rug, then you'll just get over it and you'll feel fine, and then you'll meet somebody else. You are guaranteed going to meet somebody who is like kind of in that same alignment as the other person you was with, and you're just going to keep repeating cycles over and over again. And that's what I did. After the second time, I was like, no, this is not happening ever again. I do not ever want to feel this low because I let go of myself that much. I also think as well, if you are going through a breakup right now, don't go on social media. Like, you don't need to be on social media and seeing things that could potentially trigger you. If you are going on social media, make sure that you are only following pages that are going to uplift you and make you feel like happy and motivated. I would honestly suggest having like a big social media clear out. First and foremost, blocking your ex and getting them out of your way, because you do not want any kind of cords attached with them anymore. Like, you just want to be able to move on. Secondly, just anyone, like all of his friends and just like people who are like mutuals, get rid of them. Like, you don't need them, they are irrelevant. Like, you might think that you had a bit of a friendship maybe with some of his friends, girlfriends or whatever, but no, cut them out. Like, in a couple of years you're going to forget about them. Just cut it. And then just anything that makes you kind of like draw comparisons with yourself with other people, that makes you feel like you're not good enough. Just have a social media clear out and only follow people who are making you feel good and uplifted. But if you don't want to do that, I just highly suggest not going on social media at all, because you can really get into a trap of just comparison. And I think if you do still have that person on social media, I remember like for me in situationships, I would, after like a breakup, I would find myself like posting on social media in a way that would be like, you know, like posting quotes or something like that, like something to be like, I'm over you kind of thing. But it's like, you don't need to do all that. Like, you can literally just move in silence and just avoid the future regret and embarrassment of even humoring that person, even showing them that you're still thinking about them, because they don't deserve that. So yeah, the social media clear out is very beneficial, and I just think it's a perfect time for you to reconnect with things that you once loved and reconnect with your roots a little bit. So start doing things in real life again. Like, I remember for me, like, I just reconnected with going for walks. I really enjoyed waking up in the morning and going for a walk at sunrise. What else did I do? Like, I remember at that time I used to watch a lot of self-development videos. I really amped up the self-help videos that I was watching. So someone who I really loved when I was going through a breakup, someone who really got me through, was Hailey Gamba. I first discovered her actually during that time, and I loved her. I loved how like real and open and honest she was, and she was very different from anything that or anyone that I'd ever seen on YouTube at that point. Also Kelly Stamps, like Kelly Stamps. In fact, if you're going through a breakup right now and you just need to watch something lighthearted, go to Kelly Stamps' channel and watch her videos, because she does the funniest videos ever. I've not watched her in so long, but I used to be obsessed with Kelly Stamps. She is hilarious, and all of her videos are just kind of like just skits, and they're just funny. So like, yeah, if you're not on your self-development era right now, then go watch Kelly Stamps, because she does some really great videos. So yeah, that's kind of my two penneth on breakups. I could speak a lot more about it and go a lot more in depth. Just let me know if you want to see that. If you're wanting some ideas of like self-care, self-love things, and like how you can love yourself during this time of the year and really romanticize it and make it the best, I would say doing things that are more creative and offline. So I really love coloring. I've spoken about this before, but I really find it so fun. It just really relaxes my nervous system. I'll put like binaural beats in the background or like relaxing lo-fi music, and I'll just listen to that, color in, be creative, and it just really gets me into the flow state. And it kind of, I don't know, it just feels very therapeutic therapeutic to me to do that, and it feels like such an act of self-love because it's not like I'm just drowning out myself with other things. Like, I'm spending time intentionally with myself because I'm in my thoughts and I'm in my head, and I think it's just a really good way to connect with yourself. But you can also do like any other hobbies. You can do crafts, you could do scrapbooking, you could do jigsaw puzzles, you could even play video games. You could get like your favorite video game from your childhood. You could get The Sims and play The Sims. Oh my god, I used to love The Sims so much. That is so fun. That is such a good idea for a Valentine's Day self-care thing. I really want to do that now, but I don't have the means to play The Sims. Maybe on my boyfriend's Xbox. Or like Animal Crossing. Oh my god, that is so wholesome. Animal Crossing would be such a vibe on Valentine's Day. And I think like really setting the scene as well, making your space look beautiful. So making it all cozy, getting some nice cozy lights. I am all about the cozy lights in my bedroom. I always have been. Like, I just love my room being cozy. But making your space really clean. I would also say a really big act of self-love that you could do for yourself on Valentine's Day is to just do acts of service for yourself. So maybe just do your future self a favor and tidy up your bedroom, clear out your space, change your bedding, wash your bedding and change your bedding. That's just an act of love in itself. That is such a good feeling to get into fresh sheets. You could even make Valentine's Day like a whole day of just being really intentional and tidying out your wardrobe or something, like clearing out loads of things that you don't use anymore or things that you don't want anymore. And if, let's say, you have gone through a breakup, this could be like the perfect opportunity to have like a little bit of a ritual and get rid of all of the things from the past relationship. I know that it took me a while to gradually get rid of all the things from like my last relationship. So like gifts and little memory things like that. But I remember when I had that day where I got rid of everything and it was so therapeutic to me and it felt like I gave myself closure. So that's something really good if you are maybe going through a breakup. Research recipes and find like a really healthy meal that looks so delicious and so tasty, and buy the ingredients and make that for yourself. I have really started to love cooking for myself, and my favorite comfort meal ever is salmon, rice, sriracha mayo. You know the TikTok thing, and you like mash it all together and then you get the seaweed thins and you like the Emily Mariko. Is she called Emily Mariko? That girl. That's like my favorite comfort food. But then I'll have some veggies on the side. Like I'll wilt some spinach with some soy sauce and some sesame oil, and maybe I'll have some kimchi. I could have some cucumber if I wanted to, just things like that. That is like my favorite comfort meal. But you could do the same thing with anything else to your taste. You can make the most delicious meals that are healthy for you, and that might be your new go-to. That might be the new thing that you would rather eat than like a McDonald's if you was having a self-care night. Another perspective that you can have in relation to Valentine's Day and spending Valentine's Day by yourself is thinking about your inner child, and like you are spending this day giving them the treatment that they deserve. If you're struggling still with kind of being able to love yourself and to show all this love to yourself and have compassion for yourself and want to spend time with yourself, I would suggest finding an old picture of yourself when you was a baby or a little girl and using that as a frame of reference, that Valentine's Day, this year, you are going to dedicate your time and put all of your love into your inner child and doing all of the things that they love and all of the things that would make them happy. That truly was something that changed my perspective when it came to self-love and spending time with myself, because I never felt alone from that point. When you know that you've got your inner child within you and you know that you've also got your higher self within you, it's like a fucking party in here. Like you never feel lonely because you have kind of that purpose of wanting to fulfill the inner child and make them feel better. So it's like you're purpose driven when you think of it in this way, but then you also feel like you're being mothered by your higher self and you're being protected by your higher self as well. So like your higher self would be like, you know, just like your intuition, and you know when you consciously know that you should do something but you find it really difficult to do. I just think of it like the part of me that knows best is my higher self. And I also think when I meditate, I do feel so connected to like a higher being and a higher knowledge. So yeah, when you think of it kind of like that, it doesn't feel so difficult to be on your own anymore and be in solitude, because you know that you've got like this internal support system going on. And like I just as a really caring person, I love caring for people and I love like pouring my love into a relationship. But I just think while you're in this time when you're single, learn how to pour that love into yourself, into your inner child and what they want and what they would have loved back in the day. It's truly so healing, and it does just give you a bit of a purpose and it makes you feel like you're doing good. This video is getting like crazy long now, but I wanted to just end this video by saying something that I said at the beginning, but I really want to reiterate it to you guys. Don't be a cynic on Valentine's Day. Like, if you are somebody who truly desires love and you want to bring love into your life, you want to manifest love, you want a loving relationship, you are doing yourself no favors by being cynical and by being negative about this season of the year. You are completely allowed to feel your feelings, and you're allowed to feel sad if you're going through a breakup, or you're allowed to feel sad if you're single, but that doesn't mean that you need to think of Valentine's Day as a whole as being doomed and being a holiday that is just so miserable and depressing. Everything in life is based on your perception. So like, however you think about something, that is what is going to be your reality. If you think that Valentine's Day is cheesy and corny and miserable and depressing, that's going to be your reality. That's all you're going to see. But if that's your thing, cool, but I just think that if you are somebody who loves love, like you want to be in love and you want to find someone who you connect with, you're doing yourself no favors by being cynical and being negative about it, because you're just attracting more of that kind of thing. Or even if you don't believe in like the law of attraction, you are just scientifically, your brain, because of confirmation bias, your brain is going to see more of the things that you want to believe. So like, if you want to believe that Valentine's Day is depressing, your brain is going to prove that to you, because your brain is very, very intelligent. Your brain likes to make sure that you are right, which is crazy. But yeah, this video is so long already, so I'm going to leave that there. But I'm hoping that this video kind of gives you a little bit of support and companionship during this time. Obviously, if you are watching this video on Valentine's Day, if you are feeling lonely, just drop a comment down below and I will reply to you and we can talk about it and just hash out our feelings. Not hash out, you know what I mean. Just get our feelings out there. I am always here to talk if you ever feel lonely. If you have any questions about Valentine's Day, if I didn't cover anything, there's probably so many things that I didn't cover, but I felt like I just wanted to have a bit more of a free-flowing video rather than step by step. But if there's anything that you want me to address, then let me know in the comments. I hope you guys are all doing okay. If you are celebrating Valentine's Day this year, whether that be with yourself or with your partner, let me know how you're celebrating, because I just really want to know. I just personally think that Valentine's Day is such a beautiful day if you want it to be. And like, I don't know, even despite like when I was single, I didn't think of it in a negative way. I feel like it was society that told me that it was a negative thing if you were single on Valentine's Day. So I remember, like, I genuinely thought it was quite exciting and I loved all the pink and the red and the hearts and the pretty girly things. I loved all of that. But I just remember feeling a little bit like I was kind of excluded from the season or from the holiday. But now I know, and as I got older, I knew that that's not the case, and that anybody can celebrate Valentine's Day, and that Valentine's Day is literally a season of love, and it's not exclusive to romantic relationships. It is applicable to every single piece of love in the world. It can be love for pets, it can be love for nature, it can be love for food, or love for a program, a TV program, your favorite TV program. Oh my god, I need to stop now, guys. I'm getting carried away and I'm getting delirious. It is past 5 p.m, which means that it's nearly my bedtime. Honestly, I finish work and I'm like a grandma. Like, I'll eat my food, take off my makeup, shower, whatever, and then I'm in bed. But I do wake up early. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and if you got to this point, let me know in the comments, because it'd be interesting to know who actually got this far. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.